let's see how to go about understanding the timing of what I'm playing. Okay, so this was a very short piece, just a bunch of chords, and they played in a certain rhythm. So based on what we've learned so far, which is tempo and the length of events, long or short, groups, and how to zoom in or zoom out, just using this, how do we figure out what was just played in terms of the timing? So first thing first, tempo. So when we have, let's play this again one more time for those joining us now. So right, so it's following that pattern, and now the entire thing played would be so each of those chords, so there are 4 chords in this. The first is, and the second, third, and the fourth, and back to. So they're all played with the exact same rhythm, and that rhythm is So how do we know what tempo to use? So we just think of what is the most comfortable tempo that if we use it, we begin to see the phrases, we begin to see the long and short events that are there in this progression. So you see my head is naturally bobbing up and down to this. So we can use our bodies to figure out what feels right in terms of the tempo. So if it's if that is a certain tempo, now this is going faster than the tempo I'm thinking. So what do we do about that? We try to divide it into phrases. So the phrases that we've learned so far of 4, based on that, so it's ta 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 ta. So the first phrase, you could call it in terms of what we have done so far, the K, D, B, M, and C. It could be. So can you try to figure that out? So it's DBKA, DBK, 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 and then so it's DBK, DKB, DBK, DKB, DBK, DKB. So you just put these 2 phrases together and you get. and you change the chords and you get and so on. So how does this help us? No matter what you're listening to, anywhere, anytime, you can try to fit it onto a model that you have, a mental model, a mental map of rhythm, of the skills that you've developed using the toolkit that you have developed. So the toolkit we have developed so far consists of very basic elements which are foundational and help for a lot of rhythm. So when I was first getting into music, I didn't know anything about rhythm, to be honest. And I thought, all these songs that I listened to, the moment I listen to the melody, it's like I've already forgotten it. So I thought, how do I firstly remember these things? And even before remembering, how do I even know what is being played? How do I remember the rhythm of the phrase, the timing of the phrase? So this is what helped me, being able to first decide, okay, what tempo do I use so that I can understand the timing of these events happening in the song. So if I chose a different tempo, so if I chose, right now I'm choosing 1, so it's going. That's the tempo I'm using. What if I used this tempo? So right? What if I used a tempo that is not at all matching it? So it's actually hard to do while playing, but okay, I'll try. So what if I use a tempo of let's say, what if I use this? What if I use this tempo against this, what I'm playing? Doesn't really fit. So I need to find the right tempo in order to even know what is being played, the length of the events that are happening. Now once I know the tempo, then I think, okay, what is the relative timing of these events? So which is where we begin to spell the events using what we've done so far. So DKB or DBK, so DBK, DK, DBK, DK, DBK, DK. So the Ds and the Bs are the short events, the Ks are the long events. You can have events of varying lengths, some that aren't even this short, maybe something longer than K. You can have a C, you can have DC, DC, so you can do DC, 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 DC. So maybe you can do DC, C, D, DC, C, D. You could have that. You could have M, 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 M. That could also be a phrase. Depending on what you use for your event lengths, you get different phrases. And those are the phrases we've done so far. Now, once you have these phrases, then you can begin to group them. So if I have these long and short events of DKB, DBK, I can begin to make sentences out of these phrases, like we discussed last time. So DBK, DK, DBK, DK. So this becomes my entire sentence, DBK, DKB. And then I join a bunch of these together using different chords on the exact same rhythm, and I get this. Right? So this is the essence of something very foundational and very basic, and if you can do this, you can ideally parse any rhythm like a language. You can understand any of these rhythmic phrases like you would a language, and that's about it. So this time was short and sweet, I hope. If you have any questions, please let me know. In the meantime, I can maybe play something for you. And I hope you can use this in in the direction we've been taking this in, which is to make your own rhythmic language, to understand other rhythmic languages, and generally just to create and to share what you make. So in the meantime, let me, using the same progression, let me play some other rhythms. So what you can try to do is, you can try to figure out which rhythm I'm playing using just what we've done. Okay, so it seems like there are no questions this time. So that will be all for this time. Next time we are going to take a look at what happens if the phrases that we have don't quite help us in understanding what is being played. So what happens in the case where we have, let's say, a KDD and then a DKB, right? But what if now we were to have a KDK? So that makes it 5, which skips our frame of 4. So what happens if some phrase overshoots our frame of 4, or that very first in the frame of 4 doesn't quite make it understandable? So we will look at how to tackle such phrases so that we have a better understanding of any phrase that comes across our way. So see you next time.